I want to discuss the three main elements you need to consider when trying to fix a steepening in your downswing. First of all, let's understand what a steepening in the downswing looks like. It's when the club shaft is pitched more vertically, coming down than when it went back. So the club shaft on the way back compared to when it comes down, that is a steepening of the club. That is a outside in value that we could perceive as a negative on our golf shots. Now, if you look at that shot that I just hit there, the shaft steepening actually gave me the sense that I could create some angle of attack. Now, for any golfer out there that's looking for ball compression, that is exactly what the golfer wants to feel to hit the ball a long way. Unfortunately, when you create that steepening of a club shaft and then you see the ball going out to the right, all of a sudden you go, I'm a bit over the top of that because the ball's gone right. Now, the semantics of over the top is still out there for debate, and I did a video of what happens next from the above, where I started moving the handle forwards and hitting shots, and then when I moved the handle forwards, you could see that the club path was from the inside. +6 meant the path travelled from the right. So you get a golfer that is bouncing between stopping his over-the-top motion, which stops the ball going a long way to the right, because the more I pull the path and the more I steepen the shaft on the way down, if I have an open face, the more I'll be able to stop the golf ball missing the target to the right. Hitting too many wild shots for TrackMan to pick up. So over the top, a steepening of the shaft, an outside in motion that stops the golf ball going to the right. I was across that at 11.4 and the face was open 10.7. So that over the top motion is steepening the shaft to stop the ball going right. It's important to stress that. And it's like, I've had a few comments, oh, get to the point, Stuart, get me in there. But unfortunately, the quicker that we go to the root fix, the less influence it will actually have, because when it doesn't work for you, you don't really buy into why you're doing it immediately. So understanding that the steepening of the shaft is there to help you. Now, I mentioned at the start of the video the three influences on making that club shaft steepen on the way down. Number one, and I'm not even going to include this in the three areas that we need to focus on. Number one is the golf club face is fundamentally open. If you fix the face angle, if you then steepen the shaft on the way down and you had a club face closed, you would be hitting your left ankle in a heartbeat. So without question, and this is not one of the three, you need to make sure that your face is correct. And if you haven't seen my video on the Essential Grip Guide, you need to go and check that out, because that will help you. That's number one. Now, let's think about the three areas that are going to influence the over the top, the steepening of the shaft, the steepening of the golf club in your downswing. Number one, the feet. Number two, the shoulders. Number three, the grip. What are the three things that I could encourage you to do to stop yourself from steepening your shaft in your downswing? Let's start with number one. Let's start with the feet. How often have you heard, you know that I'm pushing out content and I watch these videos and the message. How often have you heard to load into your right side? How often have you heard to sit into your right hip. Well, that, my friends, is number one, the top of the pile, the absolute premium that is going to influence your golf club to swing outside in, because it will shut off your hip turn. It will stop your right hip from coming around. So by loading into your right side, it means that you will tend to want to move sideways. But not only that, when you see the face on camera and I load to the right side, it gives me the opportunity to get around the back of the golf ball to make my path swing outside in. And the reason why I want it to do that, the reason why this works and exacerbates the issues with so many golfers, is that this helps us get around the golf ball. Because if I was over here outside and then I moved myself more to the left, can you see how the club would just bottom out so far and so late past the golf ball that we'd end up topping it? So the number one error is loading hard onto the right and then trying to stop yourself from steepening and trying to move sideways to then get the path more back inside. So the first thing that you need to be aware of is that just reduce. And if you want to really up your leg action, just go check out my leg action videos on how to rotate, and it will really fix that. But if you want to really resist that, try not to shift so much weight onto your right side, because what that will do is it will take out the time that you have for getting the club around the ball, steepening the shaft up and swinging outside in. So that's number one. Then we're going to go to the top of the pile. We're going to talk about the shoulders, because the shoulders is the next thing that really starts to people get focused in on and chucking my right shoulder forwards. Well, if your right shoulder didn't go forwards, I promise you, you'd be in more bother than if you didn't move it forwards. When the shoulder gets held back and the arms get pulled down, can you see how the shaft gets steepened? Because we've got a very light end here, the quicker I move this handle down, look how quickly the club head wants to fall over. So what I would like you to do, and you want to sit yourself down now, because all of those guys out there and girls out there that are stopping their right shoulder coming forwards, you're going to need to take a seat, because I'm just about to make you spit your tea out, and that donut that you're about to dunk into your tea there, that's going to get lost in there, because I'm going to make you frightened. What I want you to do is throw your shoulder forwards as much as you can. And as you throw your shoulder as much forwards as you possibly can, I want the golf club to finish as low as it can on the way through. Now, you just saw me throw my shoulder a long way forwards, and you can now see my club path was 1 degree across. I'm going to throw my shoulder as far forwards as I possibly can. Look at the club path. 7 degrees from the inside. The more we throw this right shoulder forwards, the more chance you have of getting that club shaft to lay down in your downswing. But not only that, it will then give you the opportunity to allow your left forearm to start to rotate externally on the way through, which will allow you to start to close the club face over. Look at the club path. Inside out 4.4. So, the foot action, not so much load to the right. The right shoulder, move it as far forwards as possible. Are you sensing a trend here that this is exactly the opposite information that you would have got had you gone down the range for a golf lesson at 25 quid? Unfortunately, and I don't mean to be disparaging to anyone out there, because everybody is trying to help you play the best golf of your life. No doubt about it, unequivocally. But if the message is errant, then you're not going to play. So, right shoulder must move forwards. We load less into the right side than we have been told before. And then what I want you to do in terms of what your forearms are going to do, if you're fed up with paying too much for premium leather gloves, I really would inspire you to get yourself over to gxgolfgloves.com. These gloves are trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. The finest grade Cabretta leather, something that I believe that we should be paying less for, and GX Golf Gloves are producing a quality product at a quality price. Use my code GOODCOACHING and you will receive 10% off your next order. I really believe in this product, and I hope you, when you've got it on your hand and you're hitting straighter shots, you will too. Go check them out. I want you to take the golf club, I want you to get the club in your left arm, and I want you to put the shaft horizontal to the floor or parallel to the floor, and your left arm parallel to the floor. So left arm parallel to the floor, shaft parallel to the floor. And then what I want you to do is move the handle down underneath you and then put the club in exactly the same spot on the other side. And if you do that and you encourage your right shoulder to do the same, move forwards, what you might actually end up with is a golf club that moves around you, starts to move itself from the inside. Good old Stuart getting a bit carried away with hitting shots outside the eye of the TrackMan. Left arm parallel to the floor, shaft parallel to the floor. I'm going to move the handle down. I'm going to swing the golf club over me and around. And this is going to be the feeling that you're going to create with the arms and the club shaft. So what it would look like with two hands on the club is that you're then going to start to move the golf club around, lay it down on the other side, and what it will start to deliver is a club path from the inside at 6.4 degrees, a face closed to path at 6.3 degrees, and an attack angle of 2.4 down. So what we've done is we've talked about not moving into your right foot as much on the way back. We have talked about moving your right shoulder more forwards, and then we have talked about how your right arm needs to be external and then your left arm needs to be external. And if you apply those three ingredients, I promise you, you will reduce the amount your shaft steepens on your downswing. Now look, if it doesn't happen within 3 shots, but you start to feel more energy because you're moving around the golf ball more, you stop seeing your ball bend to the right, you will have upset the motion that if you were to keep on doing it, you would then start to see a change in the steepening of your shaft on the way down. And if the ball is bending left, don't aim straight, aim right. Because if your ball's bending right, you've been aiming left for a heck of a long time. I think you'll find that's good coaching. And if you've enjoyed this, do consider subscribing and check out my new website coming soon, goodgolfcoaching.com. See you next time.